of a special night. Terry Kay's Poker Club is here. They reserved this space about a month or so ago.
Bit of a semi-private game, if you will.
Exactly. Semi-private is a good way to put it. Because we do have the feeder table. At this moment, the feeder table is not full, but there's always time for people either to fill those seats or get on the list to be a part of No Nit Thursday. But this is really kind of a special night for all these guys who've been playing. Some have been playing together in this league for like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So there'll be that kind of friendly banter throughout the whole night. Should be a good viewership. I love when there's a little bit of history between the players where it's all friendly. The atmosphere is fun no matter the amount of dollars that they're losing. It's always, I see Ron's there. It's always a fun atmosphere when they're jawing back and forth.
And besides being familiar to each other, these are a lot of familiar faces to ourselves. And these are regular tournament players for the most part here at the club, but also cash players. And some of them have been coming since we opened the doors almost 2.5 years ago. And here we go four-handed into this flop.
And what a flop there for Andy. Holy smokes.
Kyle with queens. And this looks like an inviting an inviting board for him. So he is going to bet this out. And he puts 80 out there not knowing what he's betting into.
Yeah, Andy's going to lay in the weeds, I think, a little bit and just kind of string him along.
I think so.
Well, no. Look. Did he put out raisin chips? Yeah, he did just call. We got player audio coming in, Wizard. Hey, yo.
There you go. All you had to do was ask for it.
There it is.
Wow, you got the power here. And now we're heads up. And the deuce of spades is really nothing for Kyle to be concerned about here. And Andy, like you say, laying in the weeds, putting on a little bit of a show, and I think he's going to try to shut this down now. There's two spades. There's so the bet is 100, and he looks like he's reaching for raising chips, and sure enough, he's now going to make it, looks like, to be about 230.
Yeah, pretty safe turn there for him. Yep. See how much value Andy can get on this first hand. Anthony, I know we had, I don't think we met the guarantee for the 2 tournaments that started. I know the Wizard was talking about, Jim and Marissa were talking about doing away with not having 12 players to not honor the guarantee, but I don't know if they started that yet. We do?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
yep.
So we do have the guarantee, Anthony, on the satellites. I know there's at least 2 tables. Probably get that third going.
I can't fold now. I call. You got a 3. You got me. 4, 7.
Oh, and he hits his third queen on the river. And as he says, he cannot fold.
George, you ready? We don't mess around over here, bro. First hand out. We don't mess around.
Holy smokes.
So as we mentioned on the No Nit Thursday, if you get felted, you do not rebuy. And you get a seat over at the feeder table, and then we have a player come over from the feeder table, and it sounds like it's George.
Sounds like it's going to be George.
There you go. There's those queens.
That's what somebody called out, but we'll see here soon enough.
You're talking about queens, and then it hits. I'm like, we already flopped the set if he was set mine.
Hello, Lori. She's tuning in from Detroit. Thank you for tuning in, Lori.
Regular watcher of our live stream. Lori, thanks again for your loyalty.
The rock, yep. The rock's worth 10.
And you can see action is not going to be
it's worth actually
shy tonight. It's going to be flying around throughout the whole night.
That's
Got that feeder table in the back. Yep. See George racking up there in the background.
it's worth 10. Does that make sense? So
it's a free straddle?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I never realized that watching this.
So Kara just explains what the rock is. If you win the rock, and now Andy has that rock by virtue of winning that first pot.
What? Oh yeah.
And he has the rock when he's either under the gun or on the button. Then that is a mandatory straddle. And it is a $10 straddle if you have the rock, and the rock gets put out there. The other thing just hang with us for a minute, folks. This is not going to take long. This is a short one. As you know, we've got some, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but we've got some inclement weather out there here in Toledo, Ohio. And it seems like it's got the audio, so he's gonna work on the audio. But anyway, each player has a yellow nit chip in front of them, and if they are the last person standing with the yellow nit chip, then they have to give every other player at the table $5. Now, here's the thing with the nit chip: if you get felted and you move over and somebody comes in to take your seat and that nit chip was there, that player inherits that nit chip regardless of whether there's 9 nit chips out there or just 2 left.
Wow. So a tough spot they could be put in for right for
they
and,
could.
What else do you got to do to get rid of that nit chip?
Nothing. You have to win a hand and you have to show.
You have to show. That's the big part. We've seen a couple of players get duped on that in the past. On Facebook, Lori's asked if any women play. Actually, Lori, we featured, I think it was this month, we did a ladies event, ladies only, 1-3 cash game, and the 12th of August we'll be bringing that back. So it does fill up quick. If you have any interest in that, Lori, reach out to the reserve via Facebook. Let them know you're interested in that ladies only. I believe it's going to be a Saturday night. And again, ladies only. That was a great turnout. Earlier this month we ran it, and
we will be doing it again.
Yeah, we'll be running it back.
So the rock is in there. Bob Horman had it on his button, and there was a $10 button straddle, and then a raise to 20, and now we've got 6 players going into this flop. Nice little pot brewing so far. There's George coming in to fill seat 3, and Andy now, who just took that last pot down, King Queen, and Bob. Now, I've seen Bob play, I've dealt to him a lot in tournaments. I respect his play a lot. Bob has a tendency to, I wouldn't say buy pots, but he puts the pressure on. He likes to see where he's at, and that's what he's basically doing right here. You got 2 aces out there, and everybody checks it down. It's worth the investment to see if everybody just folds after you put a bit. And Andy, who's played, of course, a lot with Bob. He's here and elsewhere.
He definitely kind of gave him that look, too. Like, I know you don't have anything, Bob, but...
He gave him the look, and Bob takes that pot down. He also gets the rock back again. And when it comes around him and he's under the gun, he'll need to put the rock out as a mandatory $10 straddle. Todd Baldwin is watching. Todd, this would be a great night for you sometime. Come on into our no-nit game. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's a $300 buy-in. And you buy in for $300. If you get felted, you don't re-up at the table. You go to the feeder table, and then feeder table next in line comes over and fills that seat. So it's been a lot of fun. This is our 4th Thursday doing this, and it's just, we weren't sure the very first time we did it what to expect, and after we did it, we weren't even sure if this would be able to sustain itself every week just because of the amount of action, but we get so much interest in this game, don't we, Brian?
We always have that full feeder game, like you said, in the background. Probably has a seat open now unless, was it Kyle on the first hand?
Yeah,
okay, so he's back. So that is nice too. If you do bust out of this featured table from the no nit, or whether you lose your initial 500, you can just reroute yourself, get on that side table, and hope to find your way back into the big game.
Andy, who won a pretty good sized pot there right out of the get-go from Kyle, now picks up pocket 6s, and he's going to just call to 15, which was a raise from Terry Kay. Terry Kay is kind of the one that put this all together with his group of friends that play in a regular poker league, and they have a point system. They've sent players to World Series of Poker events in the past, and they basically go from, I believe, October to March. And sounds like a lot of fun. They've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, I always love a well-structured poker league, and with people like Andy Stout and Terry in there, it's probably pretty well organized.
Yes.
Pretty,
good point.
Cut and dry. They don't, nothing shady on their parts. And I noticed the Wizards got little graphics, as you can see, viewers, next to the players' names, he's got that little yellow dot. That means that they still have their nit chip. So it's always exciting once we get down to the last 2 people with a nit chip, because it's just an extra $45 to $50 on the line if they are the last to win that pot. It'll be $40 tonight because obviously they won't pay themselves, so they'll pay 8 other people $5. So it's always fun when those last 2 players get down and get heads up. Just adds a little bit of...
So what happened here, and I happened to be coming through the room 15 minutes ago when this happened, is that the winner did not show the hand, and if you don't show the hand, you don't get rid of your yellow chip. And so there was a lot of, and I'm getting eyeball there from George because I came through the room and said, now remember, it's not the dealer's job to sit here and babysit and hold your hand. So this has happened with Kara a couple times, but it's not her job. If somebody doesn't show, the right thing to do is just pull everything in. So you have to show with the yellow nit chip in order to get rid of it. And Lori says, I want to beat these guys. Well, Lori, you don't have to wait for the ladies tournament. Give us a call and sign up for this No Nit Thursday or even the regular Joe Poker Show, which is coming up this Saturday.
Yep, and as always, the cash games will be on pause next week. We'll probably still have one Tuesday evening.
No.
Okay.
No,
all
we
right.
won't.
So Justin Wizard saying we're going to hold off on any of the cash game streams due to the summer series coming up. We're definitely going to be able to go over that later. All the events, going to be a lot of stuff going on at the reserve all next week, starting actually Sunday.
Yeah, big week. And we will get to that, not only the schedule, but then the live stream schedule the Wizard had given me during the last live stream, kind of layout of what he intends to do with the live stream next week during our summer series.
Yeah, I know he does want to go live for as much events as we can, barring the staff. We got all hands on deck throughout the whole week.
So now 5-handed. Look at all those red cards. And it's all black. On the board.
Where's the dirty diaper when you don't need it?
Terry's got the best of it right now with pocket eights. And I think he's going to see I think he's going to shut this down with his bet of $50.
How we doing, Marge? Thanks for popping in.
Oh, wonderful, Marge. Thank you. And Parker says, Tim W. taking the win tonight. I feel it in my bones.
A lot of Tim W. fans in the chat tonight.
Yes.
I know Wizards working on that player audio, guys, as we got a couple issues with it. Getting some feedback on it, so we'll get that back up.
And those of you just joining us tonight, this is our No Nit Thursday. This is the 4th Thursday we've done this and just had so much fun with it, lots of action. And like you mentioned when we set out here, a lot of camaraderie, but even more so tonight because this is a special night for Terry's poker league. They reserved almost a semi-private room, if you will, tonight for this No Nit Thursday. So all of these guys have been playing with each other. Some of them for as much as 20 years in a weekly. They play every other Sunday, October through March, and they do a poker league point system. Final tournament, lots of fun things. I've been in a poker league before, and I agree with you, Brian. When it's run well,
yeah,
I mean, it's fantastic.
They're a lot of fun. Yep, there's no question. There's no, what's this, what's that, what's going on.
And despite playing, the same guys every other week or however it's laid out, it's also a great learning opportunity. Because as Doyle Brunson pointed out before, when he was still alive, said the best way to get better at this game was just play.
Just play, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's one of those hands-on learning is the best experience. You'll never have a tournament, 2 tournaments that are the same. You'll always learn some bit of information every time you play. So
4-handed now going into this flop. And Terry again is going to have the best of it with the ace. He's going to check it. A couple of spades out there.
Man, he's going to take a shot at it.
Yeah. George can get sticky.
Now, George isn't in this home game league, but he can definitely hang with the best of them. Oh, does he? He is in the league. Okay.
Yes, he is.
So George is in it.
Yeah, and George hits a 10, and now he's got a piece of that.
Uh-oh.
Another 10. And that's not Kyle, ladies and gentlemen. That's George.
Update that and
Wizard will
C3.
fix
That
that.
is George. Yep.
They'll fix that shortly. But
he's going to fire it right out.
yes, he is. 2 spades, 2 hearts there, and an ace. He really wants to try to shut this down, possibly, unless he's just trying to get this pot build up. This is a tough decision for Terry. And there's the position, if you will, button position advantage for George. Terry's going to lay it down, and Manny really didn't have much other than a show to put on. Yep. Now he has to show here if he wants to get rid of that yellow chip.
If he remembers.
And it looks like he does. And otherwise we would have seen that room explode.
And laughter, yeah. They're all...
But George does remember. And so now he gets to turn in his yellow nit chip, and the last person standing with the yellow nit chip is got to pay all the other players here $5, so they have $40 off of their stack. And let's talk about that summer series starting this Sunday, Brian.
Event number 1, Vic. It's the $10,000 free roll. You can only find at the reserve. Registration is going to start probably as early as 11:30. Doors will open. 1 p.m. start time. Get here early. You know, we're making those new cards, so the earlier the better. Otherwise, you don't want to fight that big line. But again, $10,000 free roll. You can start to finish. You know, the last time we did one of these, I think it was
255.
255, and it was
260 something.
It was alternate 123, the second to the last person to get in. He went the distance, I think.
Yeah.
I think he ended up taking second, or did they chop it? I'm not sure. But it just shows you that at any time you walk in, you can spend no dollars and go the entire distance and have your shot at a nice chunk of change to really jumpstart your series. You know, that's one of our favorite events that we have here. Packed house, a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. There's just so much energy. We can seat 170 players. We will have the dealers in place for these any and all of these events. But again, as Brian mentions, Sunday's going to be a big day. While the doors open at 11:30, they will be wrapped around the corner there, lined up waiting to get in. And now we're back to the action here. And one hand away from dealer change. Kara continues to do a great job here on the live stream. And now raise up from Kurt, or call, I'm sorry, $10 straddle.
Wizard, is the free roll starting stack $30K at the window and $10 for 10? All right, so Anthony, the starting stack is $20K, and as you're registering, you have the optional $10 add-on to get you an additional $10,000 in chips.
Good question, Anthony. Thank you.
Yep, he's got them all tonight.
Adrian's watching. How you doing, buddy? And we are 6-handed in this flop. 2 diamonds and an ace. Look at Scott. Flopping the world here. Back over to Tim. Tim with a gut shot. And he is going to make the call. $40 bet here. Terry gets out of the way. Ron Muir. Ron Muir is a good friend of the Reserve Poker Club. Been coming here right from the get-go. Usually here with his good friend Jim Nasser, the king. And so this is going to trim down the field.
Yeah, what a flop there for Scott. Top pair with the diamond draw. Going to be a blank on the turn, though.
And I believe this has gone down to 2-handed. And nothing really there for Tim. So a bet, I believe bet's just going to take this down.
Yeah, Tim can't. Wait, Tim's going to come along with his gut shot. He wants to see one more.
Okay.
Yeah, going to give Scott 3 aces. Not much.
Now, he would have been concerned about his kicker, but the queen is out there. If he thought Tim was on an ace, but... And he's got a show, of course. That's the feature of the No Nit Thursday with the yellow no nit chip. And he gets to turn that in, and he does show that ace deuce of diamonds and takes down that pot.
All right, so here's a new coming dealer, new addition to the reserve. It's really loud, Wizard. I don't know if that's causing the feedback or what, but.
And as you can see, we've got the yellow chip next to the people that still have yellow no-nit chips left to turn in, and the last person standing gonna pay up $40 out of their pot, out of their stack, as they pay every player on the table $5. We are 9-handed here on the main table, and we have a feeder table going, and that is 10-handed. And as you mentioned, brand new dealer to our live stream, to our team here.
Gonna pick up some days. Tonight is his first night on. He's got a wonderful pitch. Love to see it. Sporting the new polos of reserve is gonna be handing out.
Yeah, that's our new uniform he's got on. We're gonna be wearing that all week next week. Gonna have to run home each night and run it into the sink and wash it out, hang it out, and get to sleep and wake up in the morning and hope it's dry.
I will be standing a lot for this series, so wardrobe will be at my discretion, which is always nice.
Yes, yeah. Brian will be floor most days, if not all days, here for our summer series, which starts this Sunday. And
well, it looks like Tim's going to get out of line here and bump it up to 45 with the ace-7 off. Over to TK, who's kind of sniffing it out a little bit. But he's going to get rid of the ace-5. Ronnie's going to get out of there. Now over to Manny.
And those that you haven't met, the new dealer, his name is Ryan. And I really just met Ryan for the second time tonight, so I don't know much about him, but we become a very close-knit family here at the reserve when we work together.
I'm sure we will get to know him. I always have a little more respect for somebody when they instantly come up and introduce themselves, and that's what Ryan did. I saw him do that to every dealer that walked in. He wanted to greet himself and let him know, hey, he's here to stay, and he wants to be a part of the crew. So that's always nice when somebody's excited to be a part of the team.
Absolutely. So now we're going to go 3-handed into this flop. There was a raise there from Timothy with ace-7, 2 callers each with a king, and there's a king on the board, but 3 clubs. Manny really hitting this flop. And Tim, who had kind of let out, he's going to continue to represent here, put a bet out. Manny looking down here. Manny's one of the key figures of this poker league. He and Andy and Terry and Kurt, which wishes in a way that those other 2 cards were spades. But
Jenna is saying that's my stepdad. Who we talking about, Jenna? Who is the stepfather?
She talking about
I am, Anthony. I think I'm very close to it. I don't know how you remember these type of things, buddy, but appreciate that. I am almost closing in on my 1-year anniversary here at the club. It's been awesome.
Now the Jack of Spades comes out, and Tim just wants to continue to represent here, so he's going to put a bet out of 60. And a smooth call here from Manny, who's strongly in the lead right now in this hand by virtue of his king-queen, but also he's got a club draw and the only one with it. And he's just going to call this, and it's a tough decision here for Kurt. Kurt might consider bumping this up. Instead, he's going to fold that.
Yeah, he's going to get out of the way. He
really
figures,
good fold.
Yeah. Not sure what he can beat with somebody leading and somebody calling.
There it is. Yeah. There's that club that Manny was hoping would come along rather than an ace.
A quick check over to Timothy, though.
He's giving him some rope here. And a bet of 85.
Are you ever raising if you're Manny? It's always just a call, right?
That's a very good question. I'd like to see what some of our regular cash players out there think about this position. Do you at least put out another $100 just to see if you can get it paid off? But nope, he's going to make the call, and he's going to take down this pot with the king-queen, queen of clubs.
Yeah, second flush there for Manny. Decent-sized pot as well.
And he shows his hand, which means he gets to get rid of his
Yeah, gonna save himself $40 with that hand as well. After
Yellow
he makes
nit
the
chip.
call.
So now we lose another one. James Barlow is watching. James was putting me to test at the other night at the Monday night tournament. I played in that, and I really, don't get me wrong, James. I mean to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. But no, I did. I like being challenged, and for some reason, Jim and I kept getting into hands together. I made a silly call when I knew he had to flush, and that's on me, absolutely on me. I'm not the kind of guy that either blames the dealer or blames the other player. I'm always trying to, figure out what did I do wrong.
Exactly. Your season's enough. You've played enough cards to know, and you could usually, in a tournament, pick a spot. If you don't go quite the distance, you can pinpoint. You can never remember how you got there, but you can remember, man, if I would have done this differently, I might have still been in the tournament. It's always, you can always reflect on your play, because you're absolutely right. The dealer's just there turning over the cards. That's pretty much all they're doing.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other night, they said, I get the feeling you never go on tilt. I said, well, not in the sense that most people think. I get upset with myself, and it's usually we try to reserve that for the ride home. And I try to get it out of my system before I put my head on the pillow. But if that's one thing that's one aspect of my game that's the strongest, it's probably that, and I wouldn't say that I'm a great player. I've just been playing it for 25 years, and you never stop learning.
Right.
Six-handed now going into this flop, and that's all red. 2 diamonds and a heart with a king.
Nice flop there for Timothy. See if he can't get a little bit back. Unfortunately, Scott W. also has the bigger open-ended flush or straight draw.
Manny does hit a pair, and he's currently in the lead in this hand, virtue of his 10-9. So a bet of 25 and a call. Andy and Bob are now going to get out of the way.
Hop on the sideline. Scott W., he's going to come along. Though.
Yeah, he's going to come
along
open-ended. And what would that 9 do? Instead, the ace comes out and the third diamond.
Yeah, brings diamonds in, brings the Broadway in there for Scott. And now last place Timothy going to take a shot at it.
He is. He's been doing this kind of action right from the get-go, and he's going to continue on. Manny might decide to come along with his 10 of diamonds.
Manny just strikes me as a player to not get out of line too much, play his cards.
Yep.
Doesn't seem to get too flashy. He's going to try to get a little flashy here, though, it looks like.
I'd like to see more of what that shirt says. It sounds like, is that Poker Dad?
Like a normal dad, but cooler.
Oh, I'm going to have to use that on my grandson and tell him I'm a poker grandpa. I'm like other grandpas, but I'm cooler.
I'm just a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
And there's the straight there for Timothy coming in, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough.
This is going to probably cost Timothy all his chips, I'm thinking.
I think so. He's already doing an inventory check. Yeah.
Yep.
Couldn't wait to get it in. He's just going to call.
Oh,
though.
he's just going to call. He's going to leave himself with some chips, and then sure enough.
You can see the look on his face. Unbelievable.
Right.
That's what he has.
Yep, Jim Barlow, I think you and I are the same way. The only player he gets mad at is himself. And it's something I think is worth talking about on a regular basis. And here's an opportunity either with a league or you come in here to the reserve and play on a regular basis, and everybody seems to make close friends. And spend that time rather than talking about the bad beats and the sob stories and that kind of thing. I think it really helps when you're in that kind of environment to talk about your pros and cons of your game and get some feedback.
Oh yeah, mindset is very overlooked. I feel like in the game of poker today, having a clear mind, having an untainted mind, no negative thoughts it can be very beneficial. I see some card players they're very good card players, but their emotions get the best of them, and you can see them start to crumble a little bit.
It's visible.
In spots that matter. Absolutely it is. And you can see players like Terry, Andy, George, they all have good temperaments at the table. They don't really get out of line, and you can see it reflect in their play. These guys find several final tables. Several good caches here at the reserve. So
George is another one of those. Really keeps in really the same temperament the whole time.
Doesn't get. He could take a 1-out bead, a 1% bead, and have the same smile that he's got that red.
Yeah, and he smiles a lot because he loves the game.
He does.
Yeah.
Rodney's satellites are looking good. I think we have at least 2 tables. Probably get a third trickling in. We did have that little bit of half hour of bad weather that really hit us hard, but it's cleared up, and expect to see 3 tables for the satellite. And as always, we'll be running the single table satellites, 35, and give away 2 seats into that 100K main event.
Now Manny with Kings is going to raise this up to 65 after Kurt opened up with a $15 raise. Kurt's still up to beyond his original. They all bought in for 300, right? Is that what it was tonight? Yeah.
I think it's 5.
Or is it 5? It's
yeah,
5.
It's 5. Yep.
Yep.
2 to 5 is the buy-in on this, and there is no topping off. It's a, I guess you can almost consider it a no rat hole. I think they call that.
Yeah.
You can't top off. You can't go south or anything. It's almost don't stop till one of them has it all.
I like that term.
I could be misusing it.
Now poor Manny's got this terrible flop for Kings.
If you got pocket kings, dealers always adding 7 aces to the deck. Make one hop out there on the flop.
He's going to tread cautiously here with a $50 bet.
He'll find out where he's at with that. I like it.
2 spades out there. See if Kurt calls or bumps this up, and George gets out of the way. Not much in common with that flop there with his queen jack of clubs.
Oh, geez, just piling it on now.
Yeah, just getting worse here for Manny, and a check from Kurt.
Sneaky check there as well.
And he's going to want to.
Oh, wow.
He's going to want to put a bet out here, I think, for some value at least. But I don't see Manny making the call here.
No, I think Manny's pretty wise, like I said earlier.
Yep.
But it's very inviting.
It is an inviting bet, isn't it?
It is.
Now, the other aspect of our No Nit Thursday is the VPIP. And when we come around to the top of the hour here, after they've been playing for an hour and another dealer comes in, there will be a bomb pot. And the person with the lowest VPIP will be at risk. And here comes the call here from Manny. Yeah, and he's going to see the bad news here from Kurt.
It's just too inviting there. Nice bet sizing there from Kurt.
Very
Got an
good
extra
bet
60
size.
bucks. He does roll it over.
Yeah.
He's going to get rid of that yellow chip.
Yeah. And he did get some value out of that, gets rid of the yellow chip. And now I think we're down to maybe 3 players left that just have the yellow chip, perhaps 2. And as we mentioned, it's 3 people left. Andy, Ron Muir, and Tim.
Tim going to hold on to that last 12 bucks. I love to see it.
He's going to hang on to that with dear life. Andy's our chip leader right now.
Again, guys, real quick, Vic was talking about VPIP. It's VPIP, and what that stands for is voluntary put in pot. How often are the players voluntarily putting in their money? Putting in a raise, that does not count the blinds. The blinds are a forced bet. But the VPIP is voluntarily putting in their own money, so the higher the number, higher the percentage, that means the more action that player is. And if you're the lowest on that number, well, you either got to win the bomb pot or we'll bring somebody in with a little bit higher VPIP. You can, they'll be bumped to the side game and have a chance to find their way back. Timothy looks like he's going to
Timothy's picked his spot here.
Yep, Jack 6 is what he's going to go with.
And we apologize for the audio, but we hope we're entertaining enough. This is an entertaining group of people here, all playing in a regular poker league. Some of them have been playing together for 20 years. So I know they're having a lot of fun in that room, both at the main table and the side table.
Yeah, a lot of
the feeder table.
A lot of laughs going on. Adam, that yellow chip indicates that they have lost their nit chip. It signifies the nit chip. If they if they win the pot, they have to show their hand, and then They throw that chip to the dealer. The last player with the chip owes everybody else at the table $5. When we play our bigger games, I think they do it for a value of $25. So the last person with it ends up having to shovel out, you know.
And if you notice, Scott there was under the gun, so he had the rock. That's another element of this game, and that was a $10 force straddle or mandatory straddle with the rock.
Nope, it's that strange-looking chip there in the pot.
And he made the call of $2 because he was already in for 10. And he's getting the all-in button out there for Tim, who didn't hit anything yet. Now he's hit a 6, but Scott's got pocket 8s.
Let's bring out 4 hearts there.
Manny's got a 9. Andy's got a 9.
Several hearts on board. No huge ones, though, in the holdings. Andy with the best heart. It's only a 9 high.
That's a good question, Adam, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. Now that says that Andy's got a yellow chip, and he does not. If you remember, he won that big hand early on.
Very first hand, yep.
So I believe we are just down to 2 players that have the yellow chip left. Ron is one of them, and Ron is still in this hand by virtue of his deuce 6. This is going to slow things down. And Scott, by virtue of his pocket 8s, and Ron thinks maybe this is his last chance to.
He's going to think that, yeah.
To win a pot here.
Win a pot, get rid of his nit chip, save himself $40.
Oh, and he gets Scott to fold.
He is.
However,
Timothy's going
to win this. This main pot.
So Ron thought he was saving himself money. It ended up costing himself money.
Well, he did win the side pot. There was a side pot.
He did win the side pot, but he's going to lose the nit game. He's going to owe everybody at the table $5.
Yep, and there it goes.
The man with $12 finds a way to squeak that pot out.
Yep, looks like trick or treat time. He's throwing the $5 chip out to each player.
Everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner. Now, I think it's never ending, right? So
yes, so now
they'll run that back.
Now they're going to put them all back out again. Got to let the dealer know that everybody gets their yellow chip again, and we start this all over. We're going to keep going this throughout the night. We did get started around 6:15, 6:20 tonight, and we invite you to continue to stay. This is a 4-hour live stream tonight, and we'll be going till about 10:15 with as many people here playing cash games. Though if you're playing in this cash game, if you're interested, let us know. There's a good chance this game will continue to go on after we're done.
Absolutely. We got several players where maybe the cameras really aren't their thing, so they like to show up after the stream, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
That 1-3 game on the outskirts will be going all night. It's always action-packed. A lot of the players love that 1-3 outer game because it plays a little bit bigger. Can get a little bit more hands out, but it must be Jenna's throwing some shout-outs to Kyle. She's saying hi to Kyle. Or to Ryan, I'm sorry. Jenna's saying hi to Ryan. He's new dealer in the box. Seems to be handling the live stream quite well.
Yes, he is, and that can be very intimidating.
But he's owning it. He took the helm, and he looks. Well,
he told the wizard he was very nervous. Had a lot of butterflies. I don't blame him.
It is shocking. You're in the lights. You've got at any point you got 100 people watching you. But it looks like he's got a professional demeanor, which we all know. I appreciate the professionalism in the box. Manny's going to call as well. We got a raise from Bob. George called. Manny called. Andy's going to call.
Now, this is the game that I know of Bob pretty well. He likes position.
Button raising Bob. Is that what they call
Bob. That's not a bad handle for him. Strong player. He's done really well in the tournaments he's been playing here in the last couple of years.
And here we go. Pops. George going to flop the best of it. 2 pair. And they all seem to know this about Bob. I mean, you got Manny calling out of position with Jack 5 suited. Andy's calling with a clean diaper as well. So they must, George is going to fill. They must know that Bob is one to get out of line every once in a while. Lynn, we're getting some terrible feedback on the mics on the tables, so we're going to reset the stream once we go to break. We just don't want to give the viewers another 15-minute delay. So during their dinner break, we'll reset the stream and get that player audio back up. Vic and I are trying to do our best to entertain. However, it's not usually our forte, but we'll get by.
So Andy bets out, see where he's at, but George quickly raises it up. He does have a full house, and he's got a show here.
He has to show it, George.
And he shows it, and he gets to get rid of his
There
yellow
it is.
knit
You
chip.
see it come flying back into the dealer. Yeah, Jenna, let him know. I'll actually, me and Vic will tell him as well. Ryan is doing just fine in the box. Those cards can be. There's nothing easy about dealing on the stream.
No, there isn't.
You've got the cards. They've got the chip in them. You got to be delicate with them. You've got to call all action. You've got to really be on your A game while being in there. And it's his first day, and it's A game or nothing for him. So
then you've got somebody in your ear.
Yeah.
There's an earwig in there.
Yeah, sometimes he's pretty much just telling you what he had for lunch. Really not saying anything meaningful at all sometimes. But Lisa, they always start a list. Vic and I don't have access to that list. We could probably get it at some point, though. And then I think it's in order in which they were received. So they'll just start from the top of that list and work their way down. I think it's in order of first come, first serve. So whoever reached out first and said, hey, I want to be on the no knit, and we said, hey, you're on the side game. So that probably put them at the top of that list.
And just to clarify, we have 9-handed here at this main table, the feature table, and then on the feeder table, we are 10-handed. The best that we can do here from our vantage point is kind of look when that camera's in the right position to see if there's an open seat. But the best that you can do is, if you're interested, is give us a call. Call the reserve, talk to Marissa in the cage, and find out if there's either space on the table or what the list looks like, and get on the list. Now Scott coming up here with small blind pocket kings.
George beat him
into the pot. I was just going to say you couldn't pick up a tell on George when he had that full house, and then he turns around and just boom.
He beat players into the pot with ace-king.
That's usually an indication of somebody who's been pretty happy with their first two cards.
Manny's been pretty active here.
He has.
My live read on him was terrible. I said he had good temperament, good demeanor, but seems to be like he can blast off every once in a while if he wanted to.
And he does hit this, but Scott's in a commanding lead here with the kings.
Yeah, pretty safe board for him to fire out as well. George not going to float a card. He's going to get out of the way.
And that's true to George's form. There's not much of doesn't chase often.
Not a big chaser, no.
And
if he does, he seems to be the aggressor when he is chasing.
Yeah.
He'll fire out if he wants to see another card.
Oh, and another 5 here
Bob.
For Bob Horman. Dave Huff is watching. Dave, was great to see you the other night. Thanks for watching again. We really appreciate it.
Love to see that, Mike. Still snacking on your pretzels that you brought in. Can't wait for the taco ones coming in. I wish you the best on the stream. I will only be playing in one event myself. That'll be on the Monday freeze out. I was able to con my way into doing that, so I'm excited to.
That's good to hear.
To do that.
Excellent. Monday night's my only night off, and not sure with all the time we're going to be putting in. My wife is not going to be happy if I. Yeah.
You're going to go play? You're going to be there for 10 days straight?
10 days straight, and then play on your one night off. And no help here for Scott.
Yeah, King's going to shrivel up there to the 3-5s pretty quickly. And he does send something, though. He's checking it over to Bob.
$100 bet there. And Scott's got a, again, like Kurt's bet with his big hand, with the pot size here, that is an inviting bet made by Bob. And Scott's has put in a lot of hours playing against Bob.
Yeah, he's kind of shrugging now. I mean, a lot of things do get there. He does got the 3-5s, which kind of makes the most sense. But an 8 makes a straight.
Oh, and he does make the call, and Bob. Yeah, Bob's going to get paid off here. Wow. And he takes down a good-sized pot, plus then he also gets to get rid of his...
See, I love that. Love seeing that from the new dealer.
Yeah.
Making sure the stacks
Make it
are right.
yeah.
Making it right, not
Nice
just
work.
throwing everything in the middle. And you can see that rock there. It's that wooden little chip there that's going to be shoved over to Bob. You know, it's pretty much a free straddle, a free third blind for the game.
Yeah, Steve, you bring up a good point. Kyle is in seat 2. George is in seat 3. We are going to reboot this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a dinner break coming up in about an hour. We've got some issues with the audio and some feedback, but typically when we're able to reboot the live stream and put a new one out, that helps tremendously. And so what that means is that when we reboot, you will want to go back out, whether you're Facebook or YouTube, go all the way back out to the search, search again, the Reserve Poker Club, and then click on what's probably going to say number 2 or second version or something like that for tonight's live stream. But in the meantime, stay with us. We've got some great poker action here. With
So we're getting, so that's not Scott in seat 2, that's actually Kyle. Can we get that confirmed? Just want to make sure we're calling the players by their right names.
Yeah, the player that we lost in seat 3 was actually Scott, not Kyle, even though we were following suit with the way the nameplate was. So that was Scott. Kyle is in seat 2.
All right,
Yep.
So we're tracking.
Yep. Sorry about that, Kyle. And George. Oh, no, we got George's name straightened out now.
George is in there.
And Tim, who's been very entertaining now on the big blind, he's going to see if he makes this call with 8-7 offsuit, or if he goes all in.
Say, he doesn't really have call-in chips. He's got He's got some of those though. All-in chips.
Go all in.
Terry with one of the worst aces you can have, Ace Jack.
Now, Dominic would make the argument that this is one of the worst jacks to have, or this is one of the worst jacks to have is King Jack. He calls that the nemesis.
He does call that the nemesis.
Now, I don't know what data he has to back that up other than his own personal history.
Yeah, just a personal opinion from him. Again, he's got a lot of them, a lot of wrestling innuendos, and hopefully he's having a fantastic time on his 19th vacation of the year. He's a busy guy, that Dominic.
And Andy's going to come along. Andy, who I would classify as a very smart and not always intense, but he does think about his hands quite a bit. He's a card player. I wouldn't call him a gambler. I would call him a card player.
I think intense is kind of fair.
Is it fair? Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah. It's just, it don't matter the buy-in. He plays the same way.
Yes.
He plays with I want to win. My plays are all dependent on me winning the tournament, and I always appreciate that.
He doesn't seem to take a hand for granted.
No.
Right.
Nope. He's played enough cards. And Timothy going to try to get that triple up here.
Josh P., thanks for watching. Dave, you're right. There should be a Dollar King reunion game. See who can coordinate that. Joe, thanks for watching tonight. I hope you're well.
I thought they were all broke or in jail, Dave.
So now
Timothy did get a little piece of it.
He did, and there's a side pot.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right.
Bringing in diamond draws for everybody.
I'm not sure what Terry's clarifying there yet, but
he asked something, then adjusted the glasses.
Yeah. Let's see if this adjustment of the glasses is any bit of a tell here. But we do have 4 diamonds. I'm sorry, 3 diamonds now on the board. With the 3 of diamonds, we've got 10, 5, 7, 3. 3 of those cards are diamonds. So Timothy needs help, and he is going to be sent packing now.
Yeah, you can see it there. Giving a little bit of his hand away, but you got a feel for him.
And Bob looks like he's going to take yet another pot down. 2 in a row here, but Terry's going to see if he can scare him off of it. he's going to put a big bet out there, 150 for the side pot. The main pot is already lost by Tim, and Bob's got something to think about here. Ah, okay.
Oh.
So we did have a malfunction here tonight, and the 7 of diamonds was on the board, but Terry made a really great move here.
Wow, gonna buy it with ace high.
Gonna buy it with ace high.
Get rid of his nit chip. A whole bunch of value there for TK. And that is going to do it for Tim. He again, at this main table, there is no reloading. It's whatever stack you bring to the table. You got to fight with that until the end of it. And we're going to be gaining a new player, and they're going to inherit that tip chip or that nit chip that was in that seat 4.
And we again want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you're just joining, this is the Thursday night no nit game. It's a special Thursday night where Terry and Manny and Andy brought their poker league in to play. They had reserved this about a month or so ago. We're going to see a dealer change, and we're going to pretty sure going to see a bomb bot here. And so figure out who's at risk here. I'm going to guess it's Ron Muir, because if you go into the bomb pot, so we have two yeah, so two
Okay.
people. So what was the last part of that, Wizard? Was safe?
So whoever makes it the furthest in this hand between Ron and Bob. So
all right,
let's say
it's
Bob
safe.
sees a turn and Ron does not.
Yeah. So this is a bomb pot. Everybody's in for, is that 5 or 10? And
Probably going to be 10, and it looks like Buddha's going to slide in just in time. He's going to take up seat 4. He'll be a part of the bomb pot, although he doesn't really like him. Not an option here on the No Nit Thursdays.
No. Not only is he jumping into the bomb pot firsthand, but he also inherited a nit chip. And both Ron Muir and Bob Horman are at risk here. If one is out before the other, that's the one that's being moved versus their low VPIP.
And the 4 card, I think they do single board. Single board bomb pot.
Oh, it is double board. Okay, when we're 9-headed. So this is going to be a double board bomb pot. And in order to lose your nit chip, you do have to scoop.
Yep, this is more so for getting rid of the lowest VPIP player, so hang on. It is going to take a little bit of time to get all the players' cards up.
Patrick at the helm now.
Yep.
And Buddha, looks like Buddha's going to...
Looks like he sat down with the full amount, 500. He's going to bring the Buddha card protector out.
Got a mystery hand here from Terry.
You know,
And he's going to bet 60 on that mystery hand.
Ron's
It's not a
gonna
mystery
come
to
along.
him. Ron's going to come along. And if Bob folds here, then he's in jeopardy of moving over to the feeder table, but he does make the call. So, boy, we got a pot brewing here, Brian.
He does want to hang out. He's not
Kurt
ready
now.
to leave yet. And Kurt's in there. Now over to Kyle. Kyle makes the call. George going to get out of the way. Now over to newcomer Buddha.
Not a great starting hand there for Buddha with the 3 diamonds.
No, he just got that, I don't know what they call that up top, straight draw with everything.
He does have... Yeah, he's open-ended there on the straight draw, but he's got his own blocker with the 10, and he is going
He
to...
does want to flick it in.
He wants to
with
make the call.
It being a rainbow, you know, an unpaired rainbow board, he kind of, I don't dislike that call.
Yeah.
He can lock it up with a Broadway card.
And here's the thing with Omaha, things can change quickly.
Instantly, yeah, instantly. Yep. There's a paired board, so now a straight draw pretty much is irrelevant to the situation. Let's look at our 2 people at risk here, Bob and Ron. Do they got anything? They really don't. They really don't.
No.
Ron's got an open-ended on that bottom board, and that's about it.
And a full house there for Scott on that bottom board with 9-5. And he's going to come out firing. Looks to be a $100 bet. And we mystery hand here from Terry, who's going to quickly make that call.
Wow. I'd be interested to see. And Ron just looks like he's trying to hold on to that seat at this point.
Yeah, it does.
Ian saying that Manny felts him regularly. He wants him to crush. You don't want it to go the other way, Ian? You don't want him to... Well, that's always nice to see.
So I'm thinking the mystery hand has got ace-jack.
That's what you're banking on?
Oh, the way he quickly called that. And now back over to Kurt, who does have a 5.
He's got a 5, but it's unpaired at this point. What a tough spot.
And he would need a queen
Yeah, to try to lock up that.
to try to lock that one up. Really not much hope for him on the top board. And he's trying to decide if this is worth $100.
You want him to bring... Yeah, Andy money's actually got more value at the cage. If you win some Andy money, we give you like a better exchange rate on it. Oh, and the straight does come in for Ron, but it's not going to be good enough. Scott could scoop here if Terry doesn't have the full house on that Jack board.
And this looks like it's measuring up to be a chop. We can't quite see what Terry has. We do know...
Oh, he's gonna... Patrick just brought it in. He's got...
If he does scoop...
I think that is a scooper.
If Scott does scoop... Terry is pot queens at
3,
9, so
yeah.
no, he...
It is going to be a scooper.
It's going to be a scoop.
For Kyle? Scott? We're not sure who it is.
Oh, for I'm sorry, not for Scott. For Kyle. That is for Kyle, and Kyle takes that down.
And again...
Apologize for calling him the wrong name there. Already an hour into this, but we'll get it straightened out. Kyle now takes that down and loses his nit chip.
Again, there's that feeder table. It does look pretty full over there, so love to see
Bob
that.
Horman is racking up his chips. By virtue of his VPIP and not winning this bomb pot, he is moving on, and we'll get another player in there at seat 9.
I'm sure we'll see him again some point tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. I know it's Kyle, not Scott. We keep. We'll write ourselves a note here in front of us.
Yeah, fix that in the graphics there, Wizard. Seat 2 is Kyle.
And if you're just joining us, thank you very much. This is the Reserve Poker Club, 5105 Glendale Avenue in Toledo, Ohio, and you've joined us for the Thursday night no-nit cash game. This is a 1-3 cash game with 9 players at our feature table. We've got 10-handed on our feeder table. Some guidelines here to go basis no-nit, and that is that everybody has a yellow chip in front of them unless they've already won a hand and turn their chip in. But the last person standing with the yellow chip then pays each player $5, so that's $40 off your stack. The first one to do that tonight has been Ron Muir, and so we've got another one going.
Going to be adding a player, filling up that 10th seat.
Player coming into seat, actually seat 9. We're 9-handed here.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. And raise up here from Terry with ace-king. Terry really got sticky in that bomb pot, but did not pay off for him. So he could be viewed as that maybe he's steaming, but he's got a good hand here. He's going to raise it up to 50. And Manny's going to call. He already had 10 in. Ace-8 of diamonds. Buddha with the Nope. So we're going to go
Heads up.
Heads
Manny
up.
and Kyle.
and the rock
Or
is in the
Manny and
pot
Terry.
there, Brian.
It is in there. It's that little wooden disc that you see.
Oh, and I think Kyle had something 6 there. But anyway, see who wants to continue this. This is a check now.
Yeah, both players want to see 8.
Oh, and there's an 8 for Manny. So
Wow, and Terry instantly fires into him 50.
pretty quick call there from Manny. Not an insta call, but pretty quick. And no help here for Terry. See if Terry wants to keep trying to represent. He puts out another 50. See if, like I said, these guys have played a lot of poker with each other over the last 20 years. However, every situation, every hand is a new hand, something different. It's all situational. Ian's cheering on Manny.
He's just going to call.
He is just going to call, Ian. Doesn't raise it up, and shows the ace-8. He takes the pot down. Plus, he gets to get rid of his yellow no nit chip. And so another pot here for Manny, and then take a look down below of our screen there, July 27th to the 30th. And here's our VPIP. This is what's important as we get to the top of the hour. George is the lowest VPIP right now. Manny, as expected, the highest, and he's put his money in there voluntarily more than anybody else at the table tonight. Kind of all kind of in the middle there, 50% to 40%, 40%. But George will have to get active here before the start of not this next dealer, but the dealer after that. Because if we do another bomb pot and he doesn't win and he's the low VPIP, then he gets moved over. Also, if you
gotta
get
go. Yep.
Also, if you get felted, there is no re-upping at the table here for the no nit. You get moved over to the feeder table, and another player comes in and takes your spot.
Absolutely. It's just that initial buy-in of up to $500, anywhere between $200 and $500. And you've got to do some winning if you want to stay. You've got to do some playing.
Raise up from Kurt with 8-6 and a call, 9-8 with Buddha for Buddha.
Terry just wide open at this point, making the call with King 7 over to Ron.
Terry's had 2 hands in a row. They're pretty disappointing for him. Wouldn't call them bad beats, just disappointing. Ron's going to make the call with pocket 4s, and we're going to go 5-handed into this flop. Ace in the window and a 4 there for Ron.
Here we go, Ronnie boy. Check that set over to Manny, who's, we've seen it, been pretty active. He's going to pass on this hand, though, over to Kurt. He's going to check. Now, Buddha doesn't let too many free cards go, does he?
No, not when he's in position.
Yep.
Yep, and he does have, well, he doesn't have much going on, but
he doesn't. He doesn't have much at all going on.
No.
A real hand over here to Ron. Let's see how he decides to play it.
He's just going to make this call here. He's trying to get some more money in that pot. He's about down half of his stack when he started at 500. And so he wants to try to rebuild here.
I'll tell you, Rose, we love having you come in the room. You always light up all of our faces once we see you walk through that door.
Rose!
And I can tell you there are plenty of houses around for sale if you are interested in the move, Rose. We'd love to see you 5 days a week.
Well, Rose, I'm going to run out and tell Daniel that you're watching. He's here tonight. You got it. All right. So now, fairly decent pot here. I think Ron checks it. He's just hoping that Buddha hits something. He's hoping he's got an ace. Hoping he's got, maybe even ace 10.
Yeah, Ron's kind of playing it like he does got a weak ace,
Yeah.
But Buddha's going to pick up on it. He's going to check it over to him. Or check back, and Ron's going to finally drag one in.
And gets to get rid of his yellow chip. Unfortunately, in the first round of these yellow chip, no nit chips, Ron was the first one that had to pay out. And so he had to pay out $5 to everybody. And George is actually George Buddha has played in a lot of these, so he knows.
Look
and
at this.
Look at this. George Rodriguez, 1985-88, Oregon, Ohio. George basically recruited himself to Eastern, and Coach Parks was glad he did. One of the 4 people to make All-MAC 4 times. Only Michigan College runner to make All-State 4 times. He was All-CCC 3 times, and the only EMU runner to make All-State. All-CC and All-MAC at least 3 times each. Ran with the team the 1985 NCAA meet and was All-District in 1987. Look at those times and look at that. Man. Wow.
Wow, 347 mile. Yeah, that's pretty quick though. Those 2 mile times and an 8:49 2 mile.
There he is, George
Wow.
Rodriguez.
And he's right here, folks. Seat 3.
And I think I think actually he's kind of more of a stud than he was back then.
He's got more swagger than he did back then. That is absolutely for sure.
Okay, we're 3-handed going into this flop. George is not. Oh, George is one of them.
Speaking of George, gonna flop the best of it.
Man, he gets this plop really well. He's got top pair with a king kicker, and it's a rainbow board. He really likes this, but new player to move over from the feeder table, Joe, is going to just fire at it and see what happens. George is going to just make a smooth call here, and Andy's going to get out of the way, and we're going to go heads up here into the turn. And
Safe
no help,
card.
no help for Joe. And the option is Joe is under the gun, so he's really out of position against George. See if he tries to continue to stay. It looks like he had a good session though there over at the feeder table, because his stack coming in here was up over 1,000. Smooth call from George. Oh, George!
There it is.
Oh, Joe does hit his ace on the river. And you got to believe that Joe knows that this is good. The only thing he could have put George on that was deadlier was perhaps a stronger ace or open-ended, but he's going to make a bet out there, and George sniffs it out quickly.
He doesn't waste any time. Yeah,
No.
George instantly folded. You know, that's one thing about George. He doesn't waste any time. He knows where he's at a lot of the times.
He certainly didn't waste any time running around those tracks.
Absolutely not.
Man. And George now a roofer, and stays very busy with that. Very, very busy. But we still see him in here at least 2-3 times a night. He's a very strong tournament player. And he does have, as we discussed before, the demeanor of being at a table, whether you're tournament or cash game. If you can keep your wits about you, if you can stay level-headed and cool, I believe that's an advantage. And, of course, George is one of those players. And now we've got the rock out there, which is a $10 straddle on the button.
Yep, it's pretty much a free straddle for the person that has the rock, and if anybody wants to come along in this pot, it'll be $10 for them. And last hope here for Terry. Now he's got those pocket fours. You just saw Ron had those and flopped a set. He's going to get out of the way. Oh, and Manny.
Manny now.
Picking up American Airlines.
See if he makes this 75.
A pair of ones, whatever you want to call them.
So
there you go, Rose. Congratulations on that win last night. Taking first place in Davison.
excellent, Rose. That's fantastic.
Got earning some bullets for next weekend, huh?
So we're going to go heads up. Just a raise up to 70.
Uh-oh.
And Terry's going to come along, and boom.
A little bit of overkill at this point.
Yep, definitely overkill. And what's on Manny's mind right now is, what can I get Terry to put into that pot?
Terry's
How
another
can
one
I
of those,
string him along?
He's one of those tough players to extract chips from.
He downsizes his bet now, and he's going to make that bet $40. But Terry doesn't fall for it. He's getting out of there quick. And again, I believe Manny had the yellow chip, so he has to show. Maybe not. Yes, he did have to show the aces.
Did show. Got rid of that yellow chip.
And this is our No Nit Thursday. Again, we are having some issues with our audio tonight. Thank you very much for being patient, staying with us. When we come up on the dinner break, which is probably about an hour away right now, we will be rebooting. And what that will mean for our viewers is that if you, let's say you're in Facebook, just go completely out, come back in, re-enter the reserve into your search engine, and then you will see the new live stream available for you to click on. If you stay on this live stream that we have right now, then you won't be seeing anything because this will actually be shut down and a new one rebooted. And that way we can have our audio.
Some player audio, yep.
Yep, but Buddha now with ace-queen. George got the mystery hand. He's going to call the 10, but Buddha's going to raise it up. Looks like 40 with ace-queen. Terry just has really had a tough go. Going to make the call. And Ron with pocket eights now. He's got another pocket pair.
You can't fault Terry's efforts. He's been in plenty enough pots. Eventually they'll start going his way. He's a very solid player.
Joe going to come along with queen 10 of clubs.
Yeah, newcomer Joe just sat down at the table. He's going to hop in there. Over to Kurt. He's going to get out of the way now.
And now a mystery hand from George.
Mystery hand, George.
And he makes the call. So we're going to go five-handed into this flop. This could be a dangerous flop given the range of these cards. And a rainbow board with a jack. We're not sure what George has, but he checks it.
Nobody really caught a piece of anything.
No, but Buddha's going to want to continue to push. And this is a good flop for him to put on this pressure here. Ron is in the lead right now, not really knowing it, but with his pocket eights. And that's a pretty good sized bet from Buddha coming into $100, and he gets him to lay those eights down. He gets everybody to fold.
He sits back. He's going to sneak it by.
He does have to show so he can get rid of his yellow chip.
You know, he almost threw in the yellow chip before he turned his cards over. He was that excited. It's just, you can tell every player that does get rid of that, the burden is lifted off of them immediately. You
the
can
burden
see
is lifted.
The demeanor change instantly as soon as they win that pot. They get a little smirk, a little smile, and they realize they just saved themselves $40.
This no-net game was devised by the Wizard as a way to kind of promote action, but at a lower level, at a lower buy-in level, if you will.
Right.
And it's just been so popular. Been a lot of fun. This is our fourth Thursday doing it. And people have really enjoyed watching it, and we've enjoyed commentating because these players have so much fun with this, which is why we look forward to when we reboot the live stream here after the dinner break. We can enjoy a lot of this banter. As you can see, there's a lot of great banter going on because tonight, a very special group of players, Terry's tournament or league is in here, and they've been playing together for 20 years. Terry contacted Marissa well over a month ago and said, hey, I want to bring my entire league in there to play, and so kind of set it aside, and we did. Doesn't mean that it's locked out, and we've got 9 players here at the feature table and 10 at the feeder table.
And that just shows you guys, if you got a group of fellas, and you want
or ladies,
and you want to kind of have that semi-private game, if you will, and kind of have that advertised and broadcasted, the reserve is your local spot to do that. Nobody else in the area. I think you got to go 5 states over in one direction to get to another live room. So, any interest in that? And again, featuring if you know our stream games can be a little intimidating. You see these players got some pretty big stacks. If that is not your thing, Friday night we offer the 1-1 no limit hold'em game. We had great action on that last week, and the buy-in is just $40 to $100 on that. Nothing more than $100 buy-in. So.
And what a great night to do that on Friday night with our
after the free roll.
Our free roll.
Yep.
That's coming up tomorrow night. And here we are, 5-handed. Kurt with kings raised to 20, and he got 4 callers.
All right, Vic. In this situation, what hand are you taking? I would take Joe K's hand.
Yeah.
I mean, the kings look great, but, well, I don't know, though. Kurt's got his, one of his kings are dead. If a king comes on
Yeah.
it's going to fill him up. And he's going to find out where he's at.
And Kyle, who we were referring to as Scott earlier, which we apologize. Now we've got that straightened out. Kyle is going to come in.
We had bad information, guys. We apologize.
Make this call. And as we mentioned, the open-ended here for Joe.
Really solid.
And no help here for anybody. Kurt remains in the lead here with his pocket kings. And let's see if he wants to put a bigger bet out there. A, to figure out where he's at, and B, to possibly shut it down. And just a bet of 60.
Another very enticing bet of 60.
Very enticing. Certainly adding to the pot. Let's see if he can avoid.
He did. He enticed both
another
players.
King, or could avoid the. Okay, so no help to anybody, and Kurt's going to get the check mark here by virtue of his kings. Patrick doing a good job cleaning up that board for us, and he's just going to check it.
Interesting. Wow.
Wow.
And now Kyle's going to fire it out.
Kyle thinking maybe his jack is good, and Joe not hitting his open-ended, which he's lucky he didn't, because if the king had come out,
yeah,
he would have lost at least as many chips as Kurt has in front of him.
I don't think you're wrong.
Kurt's going to think about it.
I think he would, he doesn't want to call, but I think if he leads, he feels a lot better about the situation.
Yeah.
If he leads instead of having to call a bet. You're taking kind of control of the pot.
Right. I agree.
But now that once he checked it over to Kyle and Kyle fired out, it kind of is like, man, does he got a 10? But either way, it's going to be a nice pot there for Kurt. He's going to scoop it up, get rid of his yellow chip.
So our No Nit Thursday we've got, and somebody had to pay. I didn't catch who it was. They're going to start another No Nit chip round here. Everybody's going to start with a yellow chip in front of them. So I'm thinking that was...
I didn't catch it either, Vic.
I think that was seat 9 that had to pay that, who inherited that yellow chip by being virtue of moving over. And so they started all over again. And Rose,
I don't know if you're still watching, but here he is.
Here comes Daniel.
Daniel going to take the helm.
Yep. Daniel is always looking good. And I always refer to Daniel, and I'll make this argument, as a professional golfer. And here's why. He gets paid to be on the golf course.
That's right. So it's
he's a caddy, and
yep.
I hear he's a damn good one. Excuse the damn, but he's a darn good one. And but by virtue of earning a living by being on the golf course, to me,
you've got it. Yeah,
you're a professional
You're
golfer.
not a groundskeeper. You're not in the clubhouse.
Right.
You're on the course.
You have to pick up a rake once in a while.
Right.
But other than that,
you're touching a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
That was going to be my guess as
well.
Yeah,
Jim, it was Andy.
It
You're
was
right.
Andy. I thought it was as well.
Yeah, it was Andy that had to pay up the $5 a piece, so $40 came off of his stack. And speaking of Andy now, we've got
Joe going to try to do something
Joe
flashy
getting
here.
froggy here.
I respect it.
And he hits a piece of it, but Andy does hit a 9.
And he doesn't. Maybe he does know this, but he's certainly up against a player where he can pull the 7 deuce off. Andy, again, he doesn't get out of line. He's really not the player that is going to just float you with ace high all the way down. So, but unfortunately, Andy did pick up a piece of it, and that piece was top pair. And yeah, he's not gonna. He's not going to let him get away with it.
There's not much here that can help Joe's position, or it's just going to hurt him, and that does hurt him.
Well, I mean, he does pick up a pair there and a flush draw.
Flush draw. Yep.
I mean, it's the weakest of flush draws, but if it does come in, it would be good.
Andy does check to him. And Joe, surprised as anybody that he hit a piece of this.
Yeah. You can see Andy kind of scrunching his face up a little bit, like, wait a minute, I still have top pair.
Jim Jenkins says he plays with these guys in the league. I hope you're enjoying this, Jim. give you some ammo here against these guys maybe the next time you see them.
Yeah, pick up some information of these players. And again, Jim, we'll have that player audio kicking in after the break, roughly about a half hour or so. This is, again, what I always talk about Andy's play.
Yes.
He just really thinks about situations, really going over some stuff. And he's going to try to find out where he's at. What a raise.
Yeah.
Again, he's just got top pair. Not really the greatest of kickers.
So the bet was 75. He's going to raise it up to 175, and Joe is going to take a look at his chip stack and make the call. And, oh, boy, let's see if Andy can.
Oh, wow.
But he doesn't. Man.
Hearts come in.
Wow.
Is it going to be good enough, though?
No,
I think Andy only wins if he makes out an all-in bet sort of.
Yeah.
It's got to be a bigger bet.
And right now with his chip stack, that's got to be all in, because all in would just be about half the pot, and he checks it. And
now Joe's got a lot of showdown value here. Oh.
And
he does show it.
He does show it.
I thought he was getting ready to muck there.
Looked like it, didn't it?
It did.
And, oh, man, that's a disappointing hand there for Andy.
I mean, what do you think?
Big pot for Joe.
Does Andy sneak away with it if he? I haven't seen.
Yes, I would. I don't know. I got to believe so. I don't know that much about Joe's play. He was able to call because he did sit down at the table here with over 1,000, and now he's creeping up on 2,000. He's the chip leader here.
Look at that smile. The deuce of hearts coming into play.
Man, and he now has the attention of every other player here at the table, right?
Absolutely, yeah. He had to show 7 deuce.
Yeah. And
I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
But he also was the initial raiser in that hand.
Yep.
And like we've talked about before, these guys aren't novice players. They're all going to remember that. That's all going to be in their memory bank at some point. Anytime this guy raises, they're going to say, wait a minute. The last time he did this, he had 7 deuce.
And that was something I read many years ago when I was early on in this game, maybe 20 years ago, was that, good players, professional players, just don't pay attention to the hand that they're in.
Right.
They pay attention to all the hands, regardless of whether they're in it or not. They're constantly trying to pick up information about other players. They're trying to put that in their database.
They say that is when you make the curve, when you stop playing your hand and start playing the other player's hand.
Yeah.
That's when you've made the curve to a above average player.
And you got to believe that these players are paying close attention to exactly what you said, where Joe made that that pre-flop raise and then continued to tell a story with just the worst hand in poker, 7 deuce.
What they say. All right. George going to start things off. He's going to bump it up to 45 with his ace-king. Buddha's going to come along. Ace-6, George ace-queen. Buddha with the ace-6 suited. And that's going to get the other players out. We're going to go heads up. The clash of titans here between Buddha and George. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Couth? I don't know who's got more of that between these two players.
The cahoots? The chutzpah?
Yeah. And Buddha going to flop a pair of 6s, but it's not going to stop George from firing out. He's got 2 overs. You can see there, George looks like he picked up a sponsorship from Adidas.
Oh, and the king does not slow George down. He's reaching for chips. He's going to make...
And Buddha going to show some respect.
Wow, look at that.
George just had to say a number.
Nice play by George.
There's the rule, Vic. There's the rule.
And he doesn't show. He doesn't. He bucks his hand.
You can see.
He does not get to get rid of his yellow nit chip. And he did a kind of a muck and then re-grab, which it was too late. Daniel had already grabbed the cards.
Very experienced dealer knows.
And everybody's having a good time with that, that's for sure.
They just realized they saved themselves.
Bob Horman there in the background is still at the feeder table. He was at seat 9 earlier, and he got moved by virtue of his VPIP. But, man, that was... oh, man, poor George. He just takes it in stride.
Yeah, always smiling, though. You'll see that Rodriguez smile ear to ear from, whether he's cashing out a bunch of chips or walking out with empty pockets.
Absolutely.
He's always good demeanor, always fun and positive atmosphere. And that pretty much goes to say for everybody that's a member at the club, Vic. I mean, players say that as soon as they walk in, they're like, wow, this isn't a casino. A lot of people get intimidated by the casino atmosphere. It is not like that.
No.
We give you that casino professionalism with a home game atmosphere.
Home game feel. Thank you to Tim Yeager for coming up with that that phrase for us, and it is absolutely, absolutely true. Buddha, what are you doing wrong here? You can't get your your cards read here. He moved them around a lot, maybe too much. Oh, put the yellow chip there back, Buddha. This isn't euchre. You can't steal the deal.
Yeah.
Can't steal your chip back. And things have been, and here comes a big flop here.
Yeah, here comes trouble for Terry. But here we go, mystery hand Buddha going to fire out.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see when you got two other players flop top pair, and Buddha's going to lead into them.
Terry hits a piece of this. Ron hits a piece of this. Manny hits a piece of this.
Everybody's got a slice of this pie. Terry wants to find out where he's at.
He's going to raise this up, make it 80. Back over to Ron now, and Ron gets out of the way. Not quite the flop he was looking for with that.
No, it seems to be fan favorite here. Manny's got the best of it. Top, they call this. Top pair with top kicker. Now over to mystery hand Buddha, who started this mess.
If Buddha calls, I think he's probably got 2 diamonds in his hand, but otherwise, it's unlikely that he's got a king there.
It's got to be a bet of 35 from Buddha. Yeah, bet of 35.
Yep. So now we're going to go heads up. 2 players that know each other very well, and Manny did get the best of Terry last time they were heads up. And more red out there, another heart. Nobody's going to really hit a flush draw either way, but Terry's behind with a top pair, but with a poor kicker compared to Manny's ace.
Wonder if Manny's just going to float here, kind of play it like he's on a flush draw of diamonds, or if he's going to try to extract a little bit of value here on the turn. And just calls, so he is kind of playing a little bit passive as you would if it was a flush draw.
No help for Terry here, and the check mark goes to Manny.
No, this is where you do, in my opinion, Terry bets, and then you just hammer it all in like you've missed your flush and you're just trying to buy it, even though you've got the best of it.
But rather than all in, he makes a bet of 100. Manny, as we pointed out, a lot of experience playing against Terry. And Manny does seem to have a cheer section out there. Ian says, let's go, Manny.
Does got quite the support behind him. There's no way he can be thinking about folding this, right? He's, you know, for those of you that don't know, one of Terry's favorites hand, I think it is his favorite hand, is the 3-5. And that's kind of what he was wondering. He's gonna, Manny is gonna call though.
Oh, and a look of frustration there from Terry.
Yeah.
Who just can't seem to get the best of Manny yet tonight.
Yeah, Manny's certainly got his number.
That's going to take Terry down to, I believe, about $100 in his stack. And again, if you get belted in this game, you cannot re-up here. You have to move over to the feeder table.
However, everything that you accumulate in that feeder table can be brought over, or not can, has to be brought over to this main game. As you saw, Joe sat down with 500, more than 500. Well, that's because he accumulated more than 500 on that feeder game that you can see in the background. The action is, it's equivalent to this table. Some might even say it surpasses this table.
They do not do the nit chip there, and there's a camera view that maybe some of you haven't seen yet. We love this camera. Yeah.
Shows you what's going on in the main room. Wizard working the controls there, giving you a pan of it. And again, 3 tables for that satellite. I thought we would get there.
Yeah, satellite tonight, which is guaranteeing 4 $500 vouchers to be used for the summer series, and that can be used any way you wish. It's just kind of like getting an airline voucher. You can use it all 500 if you want for the $500 freeze out, which is Wednesday. And key point to bring up about the $500 freeze out is the Wizard Jim K, will be playing in that.
Oh, some
And
sort of mystery bounty on his
No,
head?
there's no mystery about it at all. If you take him out, you will get a $140 buy-in.
Seed into the main event.
Into the main event.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. That's why my Wednesday got denied, is so he could play?
Possibly.
Vic, how are you spending that voucher? What are you doing? You are very strong at the freeze out structures. Are you playing that $500 freeze out with yours?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if I get a free entry into their $40 from the satellite and get a $500 voucher, that's a good chance that I would. The other thing though is that, you know, at $140, it's just a great value for a $100,000 guaranteed prize pool with $20,000 being guaranteed for first place. So that might be where I would spend.
And again, you got to factor in the double bags as well.
And
you could fire 3 bullets at it trying to double bag. I mean, that's why I love these packages that we're doing. Guaranteed, we're going to give away at least 4 this evening. Again, still got time to get down to the reserve, hop in that satellite.
Now we're three-handed here. Both George and Buddha have Queen Jack. Kurt with 6 deuce, and he's going to get a deuce in the window as well as a gut shot.
Yeah, going to flop the best of it here.
But yeah, that's a good question. What would you do with that $500 voucher? Of course, I do like the. There's a Monday night as a freeze out as well, and that's only $100. So I might use 100 of it there. And then the team event. I mean, I'd love that team event concept, which is the Tuesday night tournament. There's dual tournaments with a team concept, and now Kurt's going to show his deuce 6. It was the strongest hand after the flop. But he gets to get rid of his yellow nit chip. And look at this. So this is what we're talking about. We talked about this number 1 event, which was the free roll. This is a freeze out. $100 buy-in for a $10,000 prize pool guarantee. This is going to be a busy night as well, Brian. This just 5 p.m. start time. That's the other thing to take note. Event number 3 here is the dual $5,000 prize pool guarantee team event. That's $200 per team, and again, these start at 5 o'clock. We'll be opening the doors at 3:30, which isn't usual for us, so please take note. We usually start tournaments at 6. These will be those 3 tournaments. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be 5 p.m. start.
Yeah, this is and our dual event is not to be confused with some places run a tag team. This will be 2 tournaments run simultaneously, so both players will be able to play at the same time, so there is no waiting around. If you bust out of the one, then you can essentially go to that tag team format if you want. I believe a player has to play once every level. Is that what we're doing, Wizard?
They switch out every level.
Every level, but
Yep.
I mean, if they're down to the 1 tournament, I think.
Yeah, they still switch out.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yep, they still switch out.
Every level, I think it is.
And conceivably, one team could take down both events.
Absolutely, that is the idea.
That's just crazy.
That
it's
is
a
the goal,
fantastic
yep.
idea.
Again,
So Kurt's going to open things up here with a raise to 15 with King, Queen of Spades, and positions himself well after taking a pot down with 6 deuce. So he's going to get a bunch of callers, 6-handed going into this flop.
got Abby. She's sending out some love to Kyle. Kyle is my hero.
Love to hear that.
It's tough, Brian, to say. You're saying 3 bullets for the 100K. It's really hard to say. Like that $100 freeze out's very enticing. I love the one and done type tournaments. But again, that double bag bonus is also very enticing as well.
And there is still time, I believe, to get over here into this satellite tonight, this Thursday night. This is the last satellite we will do for that, but we are doing some sit-and-goes, right?
Yeah, we are. $35 sit-and-goes, single table, giving away 2 seats into the 140. I think we actually ran 2 or 3 of them last night, had good turnouts. And that
Panda took down 1.
I didn't see him out there, but that Gerald has been
Mud
playing
made.
some really strong cards.
He has.
His game has really blossomed. He just started coming about a year ago, maybe even a little bit less than that, and he's just really blossomed into quite the player. We've got some mud-made gear out there.
Yeah, he brought in a rack, and
he supports us. Let's support him.
Ron put a bet out here, and I think he might get Manny to fold this. There's an ace and 2 8s, and of course Ron has, a table image of A not playing a lot of hands as he's been close to the bottom of the VPIP, but also he plays premium hands. So it would be very easy for Manny to put Ron on an ace here. I think, though, he may have needed to put a bigger bet out. Given the pot size, that might have been suspicious, but I think he's got Manny strongly convinced to lay this down. Manny's just trying to convince himself to call.
And again, this is one of those where the mindset comes in. You're not, at this point, Manny's not playing his cards, he's playing the player, and that player's Ron, who hasn't been too active.
And Ron is another one of those players with the table demeanor that it's hard to pick up a read from him.
It really is. Just very...
He doesn't change his body position, his facial expression very often. And he has the advantage, as the wizard points out, of not being able to hear people. So he's able to shut things out, and he takes that down. He's going to have to show because he wants to get rid of his yellow chip, and he shows the bluff. And
there, nice play there from Ron.
Yeah, good play from Ron. And Ron does not have to, again, this round, have to pay the $5 a piece. So we're going to keep going with the posting here of the Summer Series events. This is number 4, and this is that $500 freeze-out you talked about, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely incredible that we do this. I suspect 8 tables or so for this. It's one of my favorite events. It brings out some very, very tough play. Some great players come to this. Very, a lot of players with bracelets, main event bracelets, or WSOP circuit rings and stuff. I mean, it certainly is a tough field, but it's always a great turnout. We always have a good showing for that.
And if you knock out the wizard, if you knock out Jim K
again
during that tournament, because he will be in it,
owner Jim K will be a part of that.
You get a $140 buy-in to our Summer Series main event. We'll be talking about that shortly.
That bounty will be in full effect. This guy will not win the tournament. Somebody will eliminate him. Somebody will pick up a seat.
Oh, a bold prediction here.
Uh-oh, Terry's going to make a stand here with his pocket fives.
And he may have picked a really good time to do that. Not a lot of dead money out there, but I really don't see. Of course, Ron's not going to make the call here with Jack 4.
Looking at Joe K's stack, though, he could get frisky.
Joe could, and Kurt could. Kurt is now up over at 1,000. He's having a pretty good night here. Kurt's been very particular about the hands he's played and played position well. He was able to bluff out with not necessarily a bluff, but he won a hand with 6-deuce against a couple of stronger hands with Buddha and George.
And
yeah, we've seen some big action here from Joe, but he is going to lay that down.
Does now over to Kurt. All the pressure on him. If he has anything better than ace-8, or even if it's suited, I think he comes along, but again, guys, our dailies, we do open the doors at 5 o'clock. However, for the Summer Series, everything will be pushed an hour early ahead of time. So doors will open at 4. We encourage everybody to get here extremely early, especially if you don't have a player's card made. That way we can go through that process and you don't have to fight the line. We can get you swiped in, get you a player's card made, especially be using that all throughout the series.
And if you haven't been here in a while, that is a new feature where we are issuing player cards. And please note that, being a club licensed by the state of Ohio, in order to be in the building, you got to be a member. To be a member, you just have to be registered in our system. There is no fee. There is no fee to be a member here. And what we used to do is have a iPad at the door, and you register, and you make sure that you're in the system so that you can be a member. Now we've bumped that up to a new system, and we issue a player's card with a photo on it. And so if you don't have one of those, you will need to get one. And as Brian points out, when we have some of these busier days coming early, and if you don't have a card, it'll take just a couple minutes to get it done, but we have to make sure that everybody that's in the building gets one of those cards, gets into our system.
That would give everyone a cheat code if you're close, if you're local, even if you're an hour away. get here this weekend, playing that free roll Friday. Even maybe Saturday, pop in, play the $60 freeze out. But definitely try to get that player's card made before the series. It'll save you a bunch of time, get you swiped in, get you ready to go at your table.
I wouldn't say Kurt's having a hot night, but his night's going pretty well for him so far. He does flop fives out there. Now there's 3 spades.
Yeah, a couple of open-endeds coming in. Kurt's got one of them, gut shot.
Andy's got one of them.
Joe also has a 5 as well. So
yeah, we got 2 mystery hands here.
Well, we know they don't got a 5 in them.
So this could we could have a pot brewing here, folks.
How we doing, Armando? Good to see you in the chat.
Yeah, Armando.
I know Armando, real strong cash player. He's been wanting to get on. I talked to him a little bit last week. He's been wanting to get on this 1-3 game. I told him it's right up his alley. He likes the action. He's not afraid to put pressure on some players. So he said he's been extremely busy with work, but I promise you Armando will get on that game, and he'll be driving some action.
And now Joe with the kicker of a 7.
It is going to play as well.
And there's the check mark for Joe. He's going to take this pot down.
He is.
And continue to build to his chip lead. He is the chip leader here right now. And I believe this might take him up, no, not quite, but close, and pretty close to 2,000. And as you can see, that feeder table, it looks like we might have a player waiting, so I believe we might have a full table there.
Outstanding.
The feeder table, that seats 10. We're seating 9 here. And as we indicate here with the yellow chip in front, the yellow chip means that if you haven't won a hand yet, you still have the yellow chip. If you're the last person standing with the yellow chip, you've got to pay every player here $5, so $40 comes off of your pot. Andy had to do it last time, and Ron had to do it once.
George still has that yellow chip, and that's because in order to get rid of it, you've got to win the hand.
You got to show it.
But you got to also show it. You've got to show it. And George, too excited to scoop in the pot, threw his cards in face down, and now he's still got that yellow chip in front of him. Could cost him $40 in the long run. And here it is, Board Buddha. Board Buddha is going to raise it up. King 4. Over to Terry. He looks like he's going to get restless as well. You're going to call. Ron couldn't get rid of that. Couldn't wait to get rid of that 3 deuce. Yeah, Armando, Kurt's been pretty solid all night. Now over to Andy, who's got some spades, but he's going to let his go. Now over to Kurt, who's got the Jack 6 suited. He's coming along. All right, so we got 4 players and nothing really strong. No strong holdings. Yeah, Armando, he was not on the main game to start, so Buddha was a addition to the game. He was on the feeder game, so he just made his way over not too long ago. So the players are not going to move for him once he gets there. But yeah, Buddha is usually a lock for seat 10. And speaking of Buddha, raised it up with the King 4 and going to flop the best of it 2 pair.
Every once in a while, you can live like OG John does.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's still way in the lead against Joe with this King 4.
What a night OG had the other night.
Oh, huh? Unbelievable. Man, it was, I shouldn't say unbelievable because it was believable. But, yeah.
Oh, what a guy that is. He is, that John guy.
Joe really doesn't have much there to stick around for.
No, pretty much looking for a deuce and only a
yeah,
deuce.
Buddha's going to take this pot down. He shows, of course, he has to if he wants to get rid of that yellow chip, and he does. And George, and they're reminding George right now, they're reminding George, if you had just showed, you would not be close to being the last person standing with the yellow chip. Yeah, George is like, well, Buddha, why didn't you remind me of that?
But they all knew, too.
Yeah, no, they all kind of held their breath,
Yep.
waiting to see, and sure enough, he mucked them and didn't show, so he had to hang on to his yellow nit chip, And that means now that we're down to 3 between Kyle, George, and Andy. And who's ever left standing with that yellow chip pays everybody $5 a piece there at the table, or $40 comes out of your stack.
Again, we shouldn't be too far away from that break. We're going to reset that player audio. You guys will just have to refresh your streams, go back in, reopen them up, and we'll get this player audio kick it in for you guys.
Manny, I think he was close to up over 1,000 before. Maybe not, but he's close to it now. Having a pretty good night. Andy kind of holding his own. Unfortunately, he got into a hand with Joe, who rivered a flush on him. But now we're 6-handed going into this flop.
Absolutely, Mike. The players love when the players forget to roll over their hand to get rid of that button. It's just kind of like a little bit of in-your-face moment for them.
Now look at Andy here flopping full house here with pocket twos.
Oh, he's got deuces full.
And there's still some opportunity here for other people to. There's gut shot there.
A lot of draws. A lot of players can improve.
They could improve here. And Andy's wishing somebody's got an ace out there.
Somebody. There's a lot of stuff. Yep,
and a $10 bet from Manny. Just because.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, which chases everybody else out and just leaves Manny and Andy together
it's
here.
It's always a bummer when you got monsters like that and just nothing really going on.
No. And now Andy's hoping Manny's got 2 spades, but here comes a bet. The pot really isn't that big, $81, so
Andy's gonna
maybe
fire
a
out
$40 bet.
Yeah, 35, 40.
And should be a quick fold here from Manny.
Yeah, 35 bet from Andy.
Now here's the key. Andy has to show in order to get his yellow nit chip, and that'll leave George and Kyle.
Yeah, not too much information given out this hand, so Andy's not going to have any problem rolling that over. Not a huge pot, so he's just pretty much saving himself $40 at this point.
Right, and that's pretty much what happened to Ron earlier. Wasn't necessarily, or no, with Terry earlier, where he pushed all in. Nobody called, and he didn't really take down a big pot, but he did avoid paying out that $40.
Right, so at least he gets to stay in the game, and barring he doesn't lose his stack. All right, guys, so they're doing a bomb pot here. So seat 2,
Kyle is at risk.
He's going to be at risk. He needs to win this pot, or he's going to be sent packing for a little bit. Off to the feeder game. We'll get a new player in. And after this hand, guys, we're going to go to that little player lunch break so they can grab some grub. And again, reset your browsers, reset your live streams.
Your searches, yep.
We'll get that player audio.
Join us on the new one.
Let us see.
Oh, and then the satellite in the other room. We were at 4 tables.
4 tables. Still got time to come on down for that. About a half hour yet. You can register. Again, we talked about the packages and what you would play. The possibilities are endless. You could fire multiple bullets at the main event, try to get a double bag bonus, or you could take your one shot. I know $500 is out of my bankroll. Playing that freeze out. Pretty similar boards here. Once we get the players' cards inputted, we can see who's got the best of it. Again, Kyle in seat 2 is at risk, as well as.
And in order to get rid of the yellow chip, you have to sweep. You can't just take part of this bomb pot. You can't chop. And so Kyle not only is at risk here for his low VPIP, but he's also could be the last person standing now with the yellow chip now that George has picked up. What's he got, a draw going here?
Terry's got a pretty good hand as well.
Terry's got an open-ended on the bottom.
And then a gut shot, a couple of gut shots up top.
And so there's $20 bet, and pushing all in. This is a PLO board. Is that? Yep. That's enough.
Yep. And
by calling out pot, he does go all in. Let's see if we've got some technical difficulty here with nope, run right back.
well,
Stay with us and out and back.
might just be our monitor.
Yep.
I didn't lose it on the but
No, me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better dealer at the helm to take care of this. Daniel, PLO expert.
He is. He really is.
I always
Great
you know,
PLO dealer.
great PLO dealer. I love having him at the table when I'm dealing the game because he can get you there if you're ever struggling with the pot. Looks like Ron's going to come in as well.
And Manny trying to make
Over
up
to
his
Manny,
mind.
yeah. These are always
Man.
these bomb pots. I tell you what,
And this could get even bigger and bigger here with the way these hands are playing out.
yeah. I don't know about you, Vic, but I'm taking smoke breaks when
When there's a bomb
pots come-
pot?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want no part of it. No,
Yeah.
thank you. Too many cards.
Yeah, not my scene either.
Too many.
Okay. And so this is the last hand before the break. When we go on the break now, be sure to go out of whatever you're watching, YouTube or Facebook, and then come back in because we'll have a new one fired up. We are not going to spend a lot of time after this hand. But however, we want to see how this plays out.
I do want to see how this unfolds.
This is
yeah.
pretty much could be the pot of the night.
We could be seeing 3 new players come to the table with a
Yeah.
with a bust out. Again, at
George
risk.
George just goes all in now here.
Wow.
Wow, and he's gonna.
I don't dislike this play at all.
No, not at all.
He's got a
Big
bunch of
play
open-endeds.
here.
Yeah, huge play from George. And again, player with the mystery hand is at risk. Kyle in seat 2. He's got to win this or
Move on to the feeder table.
which is completely fine. You can see the stacks over there.
And really, all we're looking at here for Manny is open-ended at both of these, and
Yeah,
both of them being rainbow boards.
That's really all anybody's got on either of these boards, Vic.
Yeah,
Just
George has got the same thing. He's just basically open-ended on both boards.
And that's going to do it for Kyle. Kyle's going to have to move on to the wayside. Ooh, is that 3rd Street, Doc? Awesome. 3rd Street Doc's going to be filling that seat number 2 for us. Daniel doing a wonderful job getting the pot right. A lot of times these are split pots, so that's what you see him doing now is kind of saving himself some time once that river card does come out.
Boy,
Keep
he's
it
good.
separated.
He's so good at this.
Yeah, real
Yep.
good showmanship as well. Setting up again. Guys, got to remember this is a broadcast. It is a production. We're here for the
Great
viewers.
job, Daniel. Really good job. Now Terry is ahead of this. Is ahead basically by virtue of the 9 that he has and the 10. I mean, that's.
It's going to be an interesting run
It's
out
going to be
here.
an interesting run out because we've got 2 boards here, and Daniel making sure that not only that all the pots are the pot is because George pulls some chips back.
It's going to blank. Terry does pick up a flush draw on that board.
Terry's got the straight there now. Oh no, he doesn't.
Flush. So Terry scoop.
Is this a scoop? It is a scoop for Terry.
Terry's going to get that flush.
Wow.
Unfortunate there for George.
Yeah.
But Terry's now going to get some life. Again,
So here comes our 15-minute break, and the Wizard wants us to scoot off quickly so that we can get this rebooted and back up again. So come back, please, because there's going to be some more action here
more
on
action,
Nit
guys.
Thursday.
That's reserved.